Alright, here we go. So, it's the practice for Prac app. Cisco 2, second Prac app test. We're going to go ahead and assume that he gave us all of this information that you see here on the left. We're going to use 2 MLS switches and 2 regular layer 2 switches. Either going to give us all MLS, or he's going to have to give us at least 2 layer 2 switches. Otherwise it won't work because of the gigabit ports. So we're going to have MLS 1, MLS 2, switch 1, switch 2, and then 3 channels, PAG-P, LAC-P, and on, and then we're going to have 4 VLANs. VLAN ports are right here, and then our IP addresses for the VLAN, and our ISP number right here, and then we're also going to do VTP domain cisco.com, VTP mode server on MLS 1 and MLS 2, VTP mode client on SW1 and SW2, VTP mode, VTP version 2. And then he could also tell us to make MLS 2 root bridge for VLAN 10, and he could tell us to make MLS 1 root bridge for VLAN 20, and we'll do 20 and 30 root bridge, MLS 2 root bridge for 10 and 99, and then we're gonna make switch 1 MLS root bridge for VLAN 1. Alright, so all that written down. This would all be on the sheet that he gives us. Alright, so let's get to it. We're going to start out by adding all of our switches here. So our 2 multi-layer switches, and then our 2 layer 2 switches. I'm also going to go ahead and put down all of my end devices now, just so that I've got it. Keep my visuals going. Alright. We're going to go ahead and connect all of the switches together with a crossover cable. We're going to start with the MLS. We're going to go 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, 4 to 4. Now, we're going to use 5 and 6 for the layer 2 switches, connecting to 0, 1 for 5, and connecting to 0, 2 for 6. And we're going to do that on both MLS 1 and MLS 2. And then we're going to connect switch 1 and 2 together with fast port number 1. Alright, and then as far as these are concerned, we'll get to those, we'll connect those later once we get our VLAN set up. So, first thing I'm going to do is click on here and rename them to MLS 1, MLS 2, this will be switch 2, and this will be, doing it the cool way, switch 1. Okay? First thing I like to do is go into every single one and name them. That way it's done. So for these multi-layer switches, remember we've got to power them on. So you got to drag 2 power supplies there, and then you'll see it's booting up now. And we'll do the same thing here with MLS 2. Now switch 1 and 2 don't need this. This is just for these big dogs. So first thing we're going to type in is no, then enable, then config T, host name, MLS 1. And then I'm going to come over here to this one. No, enable, config T, MLS, host name, MLS 2. Alright, and then we'll do the same thing for switch 1. Make sure it's big so you guys can see. Enable, config T, host name, switch 1, and the same thing for switch 2. enable config t host name switch 2. All right. Now we're going to be connecting the ISP to MLS2, right? So we're going to start with MLS2 and do most of our work on there first, and then we'll move to the others. While I'm thinking about it, we'll go ahead and we're going to say ISP is going to be router 2911. So we're going to go ahead and put one of those down right now, and that'll be our ISP. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rename that as well, ISP1. And make this bigger. No, enable config t host name ISP1. All right, so we're going to start with MLS2 because that's where it's going to be connected at. First thing we're going to do is set up our ether channels, right? So to do that, we've got to identify what channels are going to be what. And one thing to keep in mind is he always wants us to write things down. So this is channel 1, this is channel 2, this is channel 3. Now he also wants us to write down what we're doing. Well, we're going to be doing PAGP. This one, we're going to be doing LACP, this one, and we're going to be doing ON for this one. Okay. Now, back to MLS2. We're going to go ahead and int range gig 1/0/1-4. And we're going to make a channel group. This is going to be group 2 because it's going between MLS2 and MLS1. And then we're going to put mode because it's LACPA. We're going to put active. Now he might be more specific and say make MLS1 active, MLS2 passive. Whatever he tells us to do, you put that command there, right? And then after we do that, we're going to do int port-channel 2 because that's the one we just created, and then we're going to put switch port mode trunk exit read write. Now we're also going to do channel 3, which is gig port 5 and 6 going to switch 2. So we're going to config t int range gig 1/0/5-6, and we're going to call that channel group 3 mode on because we're going to do on for that one, right? Then we're going to do int port channel 3, and then we're going to say switch port mode trunk exit read write. Okay, now you have two options. You can do your trunk on all of your switches first, or you can finish out MLS2. I'm going to go ahead and finish out MLS2 and then move on to the other ones. MLS2, we're going to want to set up our VLANs. Excuse me. So VLAN 10 name is IT. VLAN 20 name HR. VLAN 30 name sales. VLAN 99 name MGMT. Exit. We're going to int VLAN 10. Right? Switch port mode access. Excuse me. Wrong one. We're doing the IP address first. IP address 192.168.10.1 255.255.255.0. Enter. No shutdown. Then I'm going to hit up. Int VLAN 20. Enter. Up. IP address 20. Enter. Up. No shutdown. Up. Int VLAN 30. Enter. Up. IP address 30. up, no shutdown. And yes, no shutdown is redundant, but it's always good to get practice to put no shutdown in after you type in IP address, and it doesn't hurt. Change this to 99, and then no shutdown. Exit. Now, int VLAN 10. This is where we're going to assign those ports we need, right? Excuse me. Int range. We're going to be doing what? 8 to 12. So gig 1/0/8 to 12. Enter. Switch port. Mode access, because these are going to be our branches of the tree. The tree trunk is all going to be trunk. That's all your switches that are together. Those are trunk, and those are all not branches. Those are the main part of the tree. And then we're going to do switch port access, and we're going to do VLAN 10. Hit enter. Now I'm going to hit up, and I'm going to just change these last couple numbers to 13-16. Hit enter. Up, switch post mode access. Up. Instead of VLAN 10, we're doing VLAN 20. Repeat the same process 2 more times. 17 to 20. Enter. Up. Enter. Up. 30. Up. Last ones. 21 to 22. Enter. Up. Enter. Up. 99. Now that is the exit, read, write. That's done. So we set up. We told it what ports we needed for the VLAN. We told it where the VLANs were. And we gave those VLANs an IP address, the default gateway. Okay. So now let's finish the tree trunk. So we're going to start with MLS1. Hit enter. We're in config already. So to set up that, we're going to go int range. And again, on our tree trunk here, it's port 1 through port 4. So we're going to int range gig 1/0/1-4. Then we're going to do channel group. And this is what? Group number 2. So channel group 2. And then we're also doing mode LACPA. So we're going to do active. Now he might tell you to do passive. Either way, you know for sure active works, just like desirable works on pack. Okay. Now int port channel, because we just created a port channel, right? 2. We're going to say switch port mode trunk. Exit, rewrite. Okay, MLS1's done. Now let's go over to switch 1. Switch 1's connected to its own gig ports 1 and 2. Excuse me. We're gonna finish off MLS1. Sorry. We did the channel 2 connections. We need to do the channel 1 connections. My apologies. So config T. Int range gig 1/0/5-6. So that's these 2 ports that are up here, that on this side, that are going over to switch 1. Hit enter, and we can just hit up. Since you've already done it once, hit up. Difference is we're going to channel group 1, and we're using PAC-P, so we're going to make it desirable instead of active. Remember, if you forget at any point in time, hit your question mark. So it even tells you this mode is LACPA, this mode is PACPA, this mode is LACPA. It tells you that. It tells you that right there. So you hit your control, hit your question mark. So we're going to do mode desirable, because that's PACPA. Okay. Now we're going to hit int port channel 1 switch port mode trunk. Why? Because it's the trunk of the tree. Exit, rewrite. Now let's go over here to switch number 1. That's the other side of the channel 1. That's going to be gig 1 and 2. So we're going to int range gig 0/1-2. We're going to do channel group 1 mode desirable. Boom. Now we're going to int port channel 1 switch port mode access. Trunk. Oops. Access is for branches of the trees. Trunk is for the tree trunks. Exit, read, write. All right. And now the last little bit of tidbits, we're going to go back to switch 2. Switch 2 is part of our channel 3, right? So those are not up right now. So what we're going to do is come in here. We're already in config T. We're going to type in int. Same thing as switch 1. Switch 2 is using gig 01 and 02. So int range gig 0/1-2 channel group 3 mode on. And again, he's going to tell us that. So we have to do what we got to do. Now, int port channel 3 switch port mode access. Trump. I just like saying access. More Trump. All right. Exit, read write. So now we've set up trunk on all of our tree trunks except for these two right here, which we're not worried about those. Or are we? What we do need to do, we know that if there are switches connected to each other, we need to make sure that they're in trunk mode. We don't necessarily have to make a channel group out of them, but we do need to make sure they're in trunk mode, right? So let's come here, back to switch 1, config T, and we're going to do int FA 0/1, because that's where it's connected to, right? Right there. Switch port mode trunk. Boom. Exit, read write. We're going to do the exact same thing on switch 1. Okay. Config T, int, not range, FA 0/1. We're going to do switch port mode trunk. Boom. Now the state is changed up. Exit, read write. Okay. So now everything should be happy. Everything should be talking to each other. Now to go to the next step, which is where he tells us he wants root bridges. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that, which is right here. He says he wants MLS 1 to be the root bridge for VLAN 20 and VLAN 30. Okay? So that means all we got to do is config T, and we're going to do spanning. Might help if I spell it correctly, right? Spanning dash tree VLAN 20 priority 0. Boom. And I'm going to hit up, and we're going to set a VLAN 20. We're going to do VLAN 30. While we're here, let's go ahead and do our VTP. VTP domain Cisco.com. VTP mode server. It's already in server mode, but just type it in. Just type it in. VTP version 2. Okay. That's done. That's our priority 0 for VLAN 20 and 30. Let's go ahead and exit, read write. We'll go over to MLS 2 now. Config T. We need to make it the root bridge for VLAN 10 and VLAN 99. So spanning tree VLAN 10 priority 0. Enter. Up. We'll go ahead and make it 99 here. Priority 0. VTP domain Cisco.com. Just type it in a second time. Doesn't matter. Mode server VTP version 2. It just helps to make sure it's just, you type it in and you get in a rhythm, right? Exit, read write. So let's go. Our last thing is switch 1 needs to be the root bridge for VLAN 1. Okay. So config T. We're going to do spanning tree VLAN 1 priority 0. Exit. Oh, excuse me. We're going to also set switch 1 and 2 to client mode, right? Config T. Switch BTP mode client. Okay. Exit. So we'll go back down to switch 2, and all we got to do in switch 2 is config T, VTP mode client. Exit, read write. And now if we do show, what's our command? Spanning tree, right there. Show spanning tree. There we go. We got our costs. We got our root bridge. All the good stuff. All right. Now, we created our VLAN here. Let's start connecting all our end devices, right? So come to lightning bolts, hold control down and click on this. Now we have our port ranges, right? Let's go ahead and we're going to connect ISP to 24 here. Get that done out the way. Now, we're going to treat this as VLAN. Boy, I can't see a damn thing, huh? Alright. Bruh, just let me see the things, huh? Alright. Let's try that again, shall we? We'll treat this as VLAN 10. I'm just clicking around in here. I can't get to the damn switch. I literally can't get to it. Alright. This is ridiculous. I can't get to it. There we go. That was funky. Alright. Let's try that again, shall we? Control. Click on that. So we're gonna know, we know because of our ranges, right? We know what our ranges are right here for the ports. We're gonna start with 8 and connect that for VLAN 10. We're gonna start with 13 and connect that for VLAN 20. We're gonna start with 17 for VLAN 30. And we're gonna start with 21 for VLAN 99. And we're gonna repeat the same process for all of these. The one on the left is going to be my VLAN 10, and I'm going to work my way across, right? So 8, 13. Boy, do I want. 17 and 21. Okay, same thing here. This will be my VLAN 10. We're going to use the same numbered ports here, okay? Same numbered ports. 13, 17, 21. Okay, left is going to be VLAN 10, so that's going to be port 8. VLAN 20 is 13. VLAN 30 is 17. And VLAN 99 is 21. Okay, now one thing we didn't do yet, now that we got these all connected, one thing we didn't do yet is put all of the ports on all the switches. We did it on MLS2, if you recall. We did it right here, right? We did this command, this range of commands, the int range, the ports, and then switch port mode access, right? So we have trunks everywhere for the tree trunk, so all of our switches together are trunked. But we need our branches to have access to the trunk. That's the best way to think of it. Think of an actual tree, access, tree trunks. Now, let's go ahead and we're going to click on MLS1. We're going to hit config T. We're going to type in int range gig 1/0/8-12. Enter. Switch port mode access. Switch port access VLAN 10. Enter. Up, up, up. 13 to 16. Enter. Up, up, up. Enter. Up, up, up. 20. Repeat the same process the whole way through. Up, up, up. 30. Enter. Up, up, up. Change it to 21. To 22. Enter. Up, up, up. Up, up, up. 99. Exit. Exit. Read write. That's switch MLS1. Let's do it on switch 1. Same exact thing, except our ports are different now. So config T. So you sleeping? Config T int, and our range is going to be FA 0/8-12. So that's the only difference, because again we're on switch 1 and switch 2. But it's going to be the same commands. Switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 10. Up. We're going to do 13 to 16. Enter up. Enter up. 20. And this is it. We're going to do this for all of the switches, because all the switches need to know which ports we're talking about. If you don't do that, they're not going to be able to see the VLAN. It's going to be chaos. Okay, up. 21-22. Enter up. Enter up. 99. That's it. Exit, read write. Boom. Now I'm going to go our final switch 2. Right. All this jibber jabber. Okay, config T int range FA 0/8-12. Enter. Switch port mode access. Switch port access where VLAN 10. Enter. Up. And same thing again. 13 to 16. Up. Change it to 20. Up. 17 to 20. Enter. Up. Enter. Up. 30. Up. 21 to 22. Enter. Up. Enter. Up. 99. Enter. Exit. Read write. That's it. So this is the command you're going to put. The same commands, the only difference is the port numbers, because we have different switches. If we had all 4, if he tells us to do 4 MLS switches, it'll be the same gig range the whole way through. I don't suspect that, though. I think he's going to do the regular switches as well to keep it spicy. So now, hypothetically, they should all be able to see each other once we give them all IP addresses. So we're going to go ahead and do a couple of them, because it's going to take forever to do this. We're trying to keep this video succinct. So we'll do 10.10 from an IP address for this one. 10.1 is the gateway. All right. And we'll start with this. This is VLAN 20, so 192.168.20.20. 192.168.20.1 is our gateway. And we'll do our 30 here. 192.168. It's too many periods. 168.30.30. 192.168.30.1. And lastly, we'll do this one. Now, we're going to want to see if they can see each other, right? That's step 1. So we'll test that. This is 99, so we're going to do 99. 192.168, its default gateway is .1. Okay. We're going to go ahead and test this one over here. So we'll go ahead and put our IP address in here. 168.10. We'll make this one 11. 192.168.10.1. Now, I go to command prompt. Let's see if we can ping the gateway. Ping. This is what he means by testing, right? 192.168.10.1. Okay, I can see my gateway. Let's see if I can see the first computer. Boom. You see it, no problem. Let's see if we can see somebody else's gateway. Sure can. Let's see if we can see the other computers. Gotta figure out where it's at now. Request timed out. Oh no, can't see it. Alright, so we can't see it. That's an issue. So we got something off. Alright. You know what we forgot to do? The one command, the one magical command. Do you remember? Config T IP routing. Exit. And read it right. Now we should be able to see it. There we go. So that one command stopped us from being able to see it, right? So the reason I put IP routing on MLS2 is because MLS2 is the one that I put in all the gateways, right? You can put the gateways on both MLS switches if you really want to. I'm just going to do it on one because all we need to do is on one. Okay? So let's test it with another computer real quick. 192.168, this is VLAN 20. I'm going to make it 21. 192.168.20.1. Okay, command prompt. Make it bigger so you guys can see. Ping 192.168.20.1, my gateway. Can I see it? Yes. Can I see the other computer? I sure can. Can I see VLAN 30? Let's see if we can find it. Oh no, it's not working. We broke it. Did I make a 30? I should have made a 30, right? Yep, 30, not 30. It's there. Let's see if he can see it. Ping 192.168.30.1. Can we see our gateway? We should be able to see the gateway. Something's wrong. We broke it. It's broken. All right. Somebody's not happy. Somebody's not happy. All right, let's see if we got anything. Up, VLANs. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pause it here, and we'll pick back up once I solve the problem. All right, so I don't know why it wasn't working, but I went ahead and redid the channel group on switch 2, and now everything's working. So over here on switch 2, I'm on VLAN 30, right? So if I come in here and I type in ping 30-1, I can see my gateway, and I can ping another computer in my VLAN. I can ping somebody else's gateway, and I can ping another computer. Let's do 20.22. So if I haven't gone to it before, it's not in the routing table, so it's got to find it. And there we go. We can see it. Okay, so everything's fixed. There's 21. All right, that's all I did, but it seemed to have fixed it. So now, last thing we need to do is our ISP. So the first thing we're going to do is go to MLS2. Okay, we're going to go to config T. Now, we connected it to port 24, right? Gig 1/0/24. We need to do, the first thing we need to do is turn it off of what? Turn it off of switch port. Because we're not connecting it to a switch, we're connecting it to a router, so we need to type in no switch port, i.e. it's not a switch port that we're connecting to. We're connecting to a router. No switch port. Now I can type in IP address. Okay, that way we can see our IP address. IP address 10.20.30.1, because we're going to call .1 the MLS and 1.2 the router. 255.255.255.252 because it's /30. Now, if I typed in IP address first, before I typed in no switch port, it would error out. And that's why, because it's expecting it to be connected to a switch. Can't give that IP address to a switch. Okay? Now that's done. Now it knows that port is not a switch port, i.e. it's connected to a router. It's got its IP address. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our default route. So we do a default route. He's also going to tell us that, right? Default route from MLS2 to the router. So we're going to type in his IP route 0.0.0.0 space 0.0.0.0 space and the IP address of the router, which is going to be 10.20.30.2. Excuse me. Okay, there's our IP route. So now any traffic, Pornhub or the otherwise that you're trying to go to, it's going to know where to go. Okay. We're also gonna, for the sake of repeating myself, we're gonna get back in here, and we're gonna do no shutdown because we're supposed to type in no shutdown every time we type in an IP address. Exit, exit, read write. Now we're gonna go to ISP1. We're going to enable config T. We're going to say int gig 0/0 because that's where I have it plugged in at. We're going to say IP address, no switch port. All right, let's try it. Let's try typing the IP address in. IP address 10.20.32.255.255.255.252. It worked. Can I type in no switch port and messes anything up? Probably not. Yeah. Can't do it right because it doesn't matter on the router. So, we got our IP address there. Now, let's do our IP route. We're going to do 192.168. Well, we've got 4 VLANs, so we have 2 options. We can type 0.0, or we can do it this way, 10.0, 255.255.255.0, and then 10.20. That's a 5, 20, 30 dot. And what's the IP address of what it's connected to? The next hop address, .1. And then I can just come in here and change 10 to 20. Come in here, change 20 to 30. Come in here, change 30 to 99. The other option is just doing 0.0. So either way, it doesn't matter. It works. Now, the other thing he might ask us to do is do a loopback address, which I believe it was L01. There's our loopback address. And then, so int LO1, not L01, LO1. And we're going to type in IP address 50.50.50.1, 255.255.255.255. Okay. Now, he's going to give us that specifically, so don't worry about that. But it's LO1. Exit, exit, read write. Now, we should be able to ping those ports. Ping 10, 20, 31. Destination host unreachable. Oh no, we broke it. What did we do wrong? Unreachable. How do we fix that error? Timed out? Did we type in our addresses right? Can we see .2? I can see .2. Did I type in the wrong? No, I can see that's unreachable too. Reply from 192.168.10.1. Host unreachable. It's not on, dummy. That's what I get for doing it late at night, right? Config T. Int gig 0/0. No shutdown. Exit, exit. Read write. Every time you type in IP address, what are you supposed to do? Type in no shutdown. Now, we can see it. Why? Because it wasn't on. So now we should be able to see 2. There we go. We can see 2. Alright, now I was connected to that computer that's connected to the ISP. So let's try over here. Command prompt. Ping. Ping. 10.20.30.1. Sure enough, I can see it. So again, always remember no shutdown after IP addresses. Now, what was my hint that it wasn't working, right? I looked at the physical connection and saw that they were red, not green. I'm like, oh, it's not on. Duh. Right? Can I see the ISP? Yes, I can. Okay. That's it. Bon voyage, everyone. Yeah. Appreciate you.